Once upon a time there was a horse called Star. From a young age, he was not just an ordinary horse. His indomitable spirit and passion for running made him a legend in the vast fields where he was raised. He galloped free and fast, almost as if dancing with the wind, and the sunlight reflected off his golden mane, creating an image of beauty and strength. João, his trainer and caregiver, watched all this with admiration. From the first moment he saw Estrela, he felt there was something special about him, a rare combination of strength, intelligence, and an unshakable will. João dedicated his life to Estrela. I woke up before dawn, always with a smile on my face as I prepared my food carefully, choosing each ingredient carefully. He believed that nutrition was as important as training. During training sessions, he whispered words of encouragement and was always by Estrela's side, showing him how to connect with the track and his own instincts. He was not just a coach, but a true friend and mentor. This relationship deepened over time. They were like two halves of a whole, inseparable and always in tune. Olá pessoal, confere se você já está inscrito no canal, se não já se inscreve e deixa o like. As Estrela began to win races, his fame spread quickly like wildfire on a dry field. The race course, which was once a commonplace, was now always crowded, with people from all over flocking to see the incredible horse. The sound of the crowd cheering echoed like a symphony as Estrela dominated the dance floor with her unparalleled grace. With each victory, the connection between Estrela and João became stronger, and the respect that people had for them grew. But João always reminded Estrela of a fundamental truth. Victories come and go, but it's the heart we put into each race that makes the difference. One day, the big moment arrived, the most important race of the season. The atmosphere was charged with electricity, and the aromas of popcorn and joy wafted through the air. The hippodrome was full of spectators, and all eyes were on Estrela. However, John noticed a different tension. He approached Estrela, looked deeply into her eyes and said firmly and affectionately, "Today, no matter what happens out there, remember one thing. I'm here and I believe in you. Run as you always did, with your heart." Estrela, upon hearing these words, snorted in confirmation, her eyes shining with determination. When the starting signal echoed, Estrela took off with a burst of speed. It was as if time had stopped. His every movement was pure and majestic. The wind blew against his face, and he felt completely free. With the track unfolding in front of him, Estrela took the lead, his muscles working in perfect sync with the terrain. However, in a fateful instant, a horse right behind him lost its balance. Collision was brutal and unexpected. Estrela was thrown to the ground, and the crowd fell silent, a collective shock reverberating through the hippodrome. Stunned, Estrela lay there for a few moments. The ground, which had once been his domain, now felt treacherous and cold. He felt pain course through his body, and the world around him seemed to be in slow motion. When he finally managed to get up, he was panting and confused. His eyes were fixed on the finish line, now distant and unreachable. João, realizing what had happened, ran towards Estrela, pushing away the people who were gathering. When he saw his horse standing, although shaken, his heart was filled with relief. He didn't talk about the race or the fall. He simply caressed Estrela's neck and said, "You are stronger than any run, stronger than any fall." These words penetrated Estrela's heart. He had lost the race, but not his spirit. Over time, he began to understand that defeats are also part of the journey. In the days that followed, Estrela reflected on her experience. He realized that, just like racing, life is full of ups and downs. What defines a champion is not avoiding falls, but the courage to get up and move forward. João, always patient and understanding, gave Estrela the time she needed to recover. When he felt the horse's determination returning, he began to prepare him for another race. They trained intensely, not to erase the memory of defeat, but to learn from it. Each training session was an opportunity for growth. They ran for hours in the sun and rain, and João always remembered to reinforce the message that the love of running was what really mattered. Finally, the next race arrived. The atmosphere was charged with expectation, but Estrela felt the pressure was different. He knew it was no longer about proving something to others, but to himself. He had fallen, but now he was back, stronger and wiser. When the starting signal sounded, Estrela ran with a light heart, ready to embrace every moment. In the final stretch, Estrela found himself side by side with another horse, both advancing at an impressive speed. The sound of hooves reverberated like a powerful drumbeat. Crowd was ecstatic, and adrenaline pulsed through every fiber of their being. But instead of letting himself be carried away by the pressure, Estrela focused, feeling João's energy supporting him from a distance. With one last effort, he gave it his all and crossed the finish line first. Crowd burst into applause and shouts of joy echoed across the hippodrome. But for Estrela, the real victory was not in the finish line but in the strength he found within himself. He had learned the greatest lesson of all. Falling is part of the journey, but getting up and continuing is what truly defines greatness. On that sunny afternoon, while the gentle breeze caressed their fur, João hugged Estrela with pride and gratitude. They didn't need words. They both knew that, more than any trophy or medal, Estrela had achieved something much more significant, the resilience of never giving up. After the race, Estrela's fame grew even more. He became a true inspiration, not only to other horses but also to all those facing challenges in their lives. People came from far and wide to hear his story, and many found hope in his words and actions. During one of his visits to an orphanage, Estrela was introduced to children who were facing their own struggles. When he saw them, he felt a deep connection. João explained to the children how Estrela had overcome a fall and become a champion. With his eyes shining, Estrela approached, letting the children caress him. Their innocence and joy touched his heart, and he realized his journey was about more than winning races. It was also about inspiring others to never give up. João and Estrela began organizing events where they could share their stories and motivate those facing adversity. Estrela, always by João's side, became a symbol of strength and determination, showing that every fall is an opportunity to learn and grow. And so, Estrela not only became a champion in racing but also a true hero in life. He learned that true triumph is in rising after you fall, in facing each challenge with courage, and in sharing your light with others. The moral of the story is that falls and defeats are inevitable in life, but they are what teach us the importance of getting up stronger. True triumph is not avoiding obstacles but facing them with courage and determination, knowing that each challenge prepares us for an even greater victory. And so, Estrela's story echoed through the generations, reminding everyone that every race is a new opportunity, that every fall is a chance to get back up, and that true victory is finding the strength within yourself to keep fighting. As the years passed, Estrela and João became inseparable. Together, they not only faced challenges in racing but also touched the lives of many. Each event they organized was more than just a presentation. It was a celebration of resilience, love, and courage. And so, Estrela and João lived happily, always ready for the next adventure, with the certainty that life, with all its twists and turns, was a worthwhile journey. The moral of Estrela's story teaches us that falls and defeats are not only part of life, but are essential tools for our growth and maturation. They show us our limits, our weaknesses, and most importantly, the strength that resides within us to overcome them. It is not the absence of challenges that defines greatness, but rather the courage to face them, even when everything seems lost. Each obstacle overcome shapes us, strengthens us, and teaches us lessons that prepare us for future challenges. True victory is not just in achieving what we want, but in the entire path taken and in the battles fought along the way. Each scar we carry tells a story of overcoming, learning, and resilience. The ability to get up after a fall is not just a sign of strength, but proof that we are capable of turning our failures into stepping stones to achieve something even greater. Estrela's message reminds us that life is full of ups and downs, but it is in the most difficult moments that we discover our true power. It doesn't matter how many times we fall, what really matters is our determination to get back up, with a heart full of hope and a mind ready to continue the journey.